welcome everyone to a Division One matchup between University of Warsaw and Harvard. So this should be an exciting match. These are two very strong teams. Last week we watched Warsaw play against Michigan and won. This week they're playing up against Harvard. I'm pretty excited for this because Warsaw is a really strong team. Actually, they're new to the league, and I'm curious to see how far they will go in playoffs. So here we have the top board from Harvard, a 2600 chocolate gummy, also known as Aaron Jacobson, against Joanna Dworkowska. Not sure if I'm saying that right. So this game is underway, which is good to see. I'm not sure about the other boards though. Okay. Looks like Marissa Day, I believe this is the fourth board from Harvard, has joined against GM Bartek, who is the top board and one of the leaders from the Warsaw team. So it looks like Bartek's going with the fianchetto out of an English opening, c4 from white. And it looks like white is going to fianchetto their light square bishop as well. So neither side really committing pawns in the center. No one's moved their D or E pawns yet. Going back to Aaron's game against Joanna. Okay, so black's got kind of an awkward construction here. I'm not sure what this knight move is doing. So white just continues development, pointing directly at this king, perhaps even threatening. No, not yet. The bishop and the queen both cover. There's no Greek gift, not that I can see. So black just developing this bishop on the long diagonal. Now looks like white's trying to get in, perhaps gambiting a pawn actually. So you could take here first. Probably bishop takes. Bishop takes. I don't know though. That's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. This king is looking a little weak after the g file opens. Like these bishops are both very strongly placed. This knight is a defender though of g7. I don't really understand knight f6 though, unless Aaron wants to move the f pawn, but the f pawn has not yet been moved. So knight e5, and black responds with c5, contesting the center. But hold up, oh, the knight also defends that. Oh, knight here attacking this, knight back. Okay, so that makes more sense to me now. Sorry guys, I just woke up. I'm gonna be a little slow right now. Gonna be a little slow. I still don't see all the players on. Okay, so Jimmy started his game, so now we're just waiting on Yoon, the third board. Let's see, do I have it now? I don't know. Anywho, Jimmy's the leader of the Harvard team. 0 hours sleep, Big Mac. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Pulling an all-nighter. I hope whatever it is that you're working on, I hope it's working out. And I hope that you do well in your match. I wish you good luck. I hope that you can also catch up on some sleep later. Ouch. That's rough. That's rough. Yeah. Man. Yeah. As much as I love these college matches, I think that each team needs enough players. I think players need to be able to have substitutes that they can have them fill in for them. So if you ever need like a week off or something, just feel free to tell your captain, your coach or whatever, like, hey, I'm gonna take a break. I got too much on my plate this week, and not have your team be too stressed out by it. Anyhow, back to the event, the Horizon event, the Grandmaster, with the question mark as their picture. I don't think this is the default. Let's see. This is the default, I'm pretty sure. This gray pawn that Joanna has. It's funny. I'm giving commentary on their pictures instead of their chess. Okay, so this knight is hit twice. Once by the knight, once by the bishop. And this knight could take here. Also, white's threatening check. So what's up with knight takes, bishop takes, king here, presumably. Bishop takes. White has yet to castle. They can castle both sides. I doubt we'll see an exchange sacrifice. But yeah, something has to be done about this knight, right? So, I mean, you can move this knight, right? Like knight to f6. That also defends this. All right, so they've taken on e5 now. So do we take on h7 now? Yeah, bishop takes, king in the corner, now recapturing. And looks like queen here is going to be somewhat annoying. Just threatening queen here. So the bishop's attacked. And if you go queen here now, give up the bishop, and you go here, the knight comes here with a fork. So that's kind of annoying. Not only do you lose a piece, but the bishop capture will vacate the f6 square. Let's check in on Bartek. Bartek is just doing fine. I mean, the bishops have been traded, so this king has some light square weaknesses left around. This could potentially be a fork, but you take here, I guess. Also, actually, after this, you could even put a knight on the b5. You could play knight b5, and if they take, you have this nice fork. So that's a nice little knight trick. So yeah, you don't want to move the e-pawn necessarily, because knight here is also the threat to come with the fork as well. So yeah, interestingly, so queen here, king back, knight takes, so now queen takes, and now black can actually move this knight with the discovery, perhaps like to knight h5, and then take here, maybe we go here, maybe they go here, and then we go back, then they push, then we go back, or no, we go back, then they take, then we take, then they just castle, then we go here. I don't know, but both sides now under a minute, so clock is winding down for these players. Let's see Jimmy's game. How's Jimmy doing against the GM? Jimmy's down a minute. The position seems fairly equal. Black's got these awkward pawns, giving this one up. And if you take here, probably they take here. So probably you don't want to take on e5. So that was kind of interesting. So queen shuffles over, lined up here, perhaps gonna go here. Perhaps just trying to get onto the d file, but the rook can contest this. This bishop's holding this down. Let's check back. So we do have knight h5, and the bishop has not moved. You either move the bishop or you move the queen. So you go here. So now knight takes, you have to take with the pawn. Oh, because the queen has a duty to defend this guy. So now you got to get out of the pen, right? 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Attacking the pawn. Yeah, so it looks like Bartek should do fairly well here. With the time pressure. Bartek gives up the fianchetto bishop. Very interesting. And I still haven't seen Harvard's third board. So yeah, Bartek just gets a nice flag in a tough position for white. Let's check in on Joanna and Aaron. So Joanna is the one in time pressure here. So Bartek starting us off, breaking the ice, the first win, first point. Oh, what is going on here? Wait. So queen here attacking the rook. Knight check, rook takes. Queen trying to get a trade. Queen takes, rook mate. Nice finish from Aaron. So the board ones getting wins over the board fours. So no upsets there. That brings us back to even. So now Jimmy's playing. He's down to his last 40 seconds. Is black winning material here? Or are they giving up material? Oh, they were already down material. So they're trying to sack the exchange. Maybe getting this back? I don't know. This looks pretty strong. Because the queen should defend this. Oh, this comes with check though. Assuming. So take with check. King moves. And then you take this one with check. Oh, it takes with rook. Well, what? Why didn't... Wait. Here, queen takes is by far the best move. Rook takes, and now... I mean... Can they just take this? C4 is annoying. Wait, what happens if we take this? And now knight takes. Rook takes. Now rook e7. Rook e7. Maybe bishop here. And then check. Oh, they go here. Wow, they're giving up so much. Both sides with 20 seconds. Leaving the queen on. Yeah, I don't like queen e2 from white. Oh, queen e3. Queen check. You have to block. Rook d5. Very interesting move. Well, at the end of the day, the GM is up in exchange. And so this should be fairly comfortable to convert. Yeah. Black trying to leave their last rook on the board, which makes sense. Going for repetition. But white plays on. Looking at this c7 square. Interesting a5 push. So rook c7 comes with the threat of taking on e6. Okay, going after this pawn. Pawn's defended. Pawn push here. Now the rook's going after it. Maybe you go here. That's what I would do. Yeah. Now you want to bring this rook back around somewhere. So the rook's going to come here. So the rook wants to defend this way, trying to bust this open. Maybe give some checks from behind, but the king enters up, going after the h-pawn. There's a check. So yeah, this bishop's perfectly placed, defending both pawns. We can take this with check. Rook block. Huh. Gotta watch out for back rank mate. But you're fine there. I don't know what the plan is for this king. I also don't know what the plan is for this king. This king. Oh, trying to trade off here. Well, the trade definitely favors white. Bishop goes right back, but now they're threatening mate. Gotta move the king. This game could last quite a few more moves. or could it? Okay, here. You go back, king here. Then king here or something. Yeah, how do you make progress? Yeah, bishop back, so now you don't want to threefold. Are you threatening to take this? Oh, pawn here. Such a good move. Such a good move. Nice. Resigns. Wow. Okay, so the GM finds the right way to proceed. Rook to c5. And then a4. So nicely done. I don't know where Rockdahl fan is. And Jimmy is mid-game. Okay, so let me update the score. I don't know where board 3 is from Harvard. So they might just have forfeited the first round. But interestingly, don't see anyone else's games right now. Okay, we have the scissor. Rizard, board 2 from Warsaw. This is their first game against the board 4 from Harvard, Marissa Day. This game just started. So yeah, we're gonna give Rizard a board point for the first round. Looks like Yoon Fan is gonna be missing. Okay. So Jimmy's gotten back to me, and he says that Yoon Fan's just not there, unfortunately. So hopefully they arrive sooner rather than later. But we'll stick with Jimmy's game. Jimmy's just castling. White still needs to get the bishop out by moving one of these 2 pawns. Joanna still has a bit of development as well. A6 followed by bishop here. Okay, G5. That is quite the peculiar move. I think white should keep focusing on the center and just developing. Okay, C3. Threatening to take on D4. And if pawn takes, maybe we have D4 anyways. But then maybe they take on B2. Then maybe we just take. So now A6, but the threat is not actually to take because the rook is hanging. Although actually maybe they do take, give up the rook, and then take again. But yeah, I think taking on D4. Oh, but we take with check? But then they block and defend the rook. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is taking good for black or is this good for white? Okay, so take. Probably you take here. Yeah, you take the rook. And now if they take, we take. And if they take, we take. All right, yeah. So this is good for Jimmy. So bishop takes on d4. Now bishop takes with check. Very awkward. King steps up. Oh, see, d3 now for sure. D3. Yeah, D3 is just the most natural move. You're threatening this. So yeah, this G5 move just really questionable decision from Joanna. I don't understand what G5 was. So now the king has uncastled. These pieces are still yet to develop. Bishop E3. Super solid. Although that gives up B2. Okay, so Jimmy is just going after this bishop on D4. Let's check in on the chocolate gummy. How's Aaron doing? Aaron's gained time since the match started against his GM opponent. Arcadius, the other leader from Warsaw. Okay, bishop developed, threatening to win a pawn here and ruin white structure. If the knight returns back, we could get forked. Maybe we can pin the pawn, try to win that, but maybe knight to b2 is a better move. That, or maybe you can get away with taking this pawn. You help defending this, but I don't know. Maybe we kick the rook out. C3. I like C3. But the rook just goes back, and now B3 is even weaker. Black could defend this pawn if they want. Excuse me. Let's check out Rizard versus Jason. Okay, so what is going on? Knight back to D1. So looks like black still has a couple pieces on the back rank, but so does white. Black has a lot of space here on the queen side. Probably pawn takes. They're thinking here. I don't know why. Jason, you don't got all day. You got a minute to Rizard's 3.5. Rook takes. So that's what they're thinking about. Okay. So Rizard just continuing with the plan. Bishop c3, trying to trade off this nice defender of black's king. So that's why they played knight to d1. And now if bishop takes, knight takes with tempo. Yeah, I don't understand a rook takes from Jason because pawn takes just keeps the pawn chain intact. Seems more solid. The rook is more active this way, perhaps, but it's also a target as well as the a6 pawn now. So black declines the trade, decides to bring the knight towards the center. Rizard just bring the queen over to d2 now. Not sure what for. Let's check on back with Jimmy. Jimmy versus Joanna. The battle of the J names. So yeah, Jimmy is doing really well. His king is super safe. He's fully developed. He's up in exchange as well as a pawn. And he's attacking this king that's stuck in the middle of the board, e7. The non-castled king. And yeah, he hits the knight. Knight goes back. We can take here with check if we want to. But probably we don't want to. Maybe black's gonna go d5. I don't know. Okay, so we do take. And now you have 3 different ways to take back. Queen takes. Pressure on the d pawn. d5 can be played. Oh, just offering a queen trade. Interesting. So just trading queens. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, trading queens is fine because you're up material. Like, it makes sense. But on the same time, at the same hand, at the same time, on the other hand, this king is so exposed. And now he's giving up an exchange. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like how Jimmy played this. Allowing bishop h3. Active rook. So Jimmy is only up a pawn at this point. Trading queens is probably not the best. Jason down to no time. Oh my god. Yeah, he just got skewered. So he was losing anyways. So Rizard improving to 2 for 2. All right, rook check from Jimmy. King is forced back. If you go here, well, okay, this knight's well placed. This bishop is misplaced. So yeah, attacking here, but probably you just bring the king back up. You want to bring this bishop back, I think. Or maybe play a4. Yeah, trying to get the bishop here. So rook here. So you cannot take. You cannot take. As you will get mated. This pawn is a beast. So bishop d1 attacking this pawn. Black can take here if they wish. But then we take here. So e4 now. Oh, Joanna is playing really well. So now we have the capture. If rook a1, king e1. Right? But then probably you have e3. No. Okay, so what's the plan here now? What's the plan here? Wow, rook a6 is a huge move. Wow. And you're defending the pawn by way of bishop a4. Maybe bishop a4 right now. Oh, this is a move too late. You needed bishop a4 there. Bishop a4 would have been much better, I think. Check. Over here. Pin the knight. King in the center. Yeah, Joanna's winning this now. Joanna has to be winning. King takes d5 as a move. Oh, there's e3 now. Right? e3, pawn takes. f2, king takes, rook takes. I mean, the king's entering the equation now. Yeah, e3 should be lights out. There it is. Rook check. Rook check. Oh, pawn takes with check. Now rook check. Knight e4 block. Takes. No, this is GG. This is GG. Jimmy, your position was so good. What happened, my friend? That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Jimmy trying to get rid of these pawn moves. Trying to see if he can construct a stalemate. H4. I mean, too bad there's king h6. So, okay, king h6 now, and queen takes. Ouch. Yeah, Jimmy's he's fighting on. There it is. Throws in the towel. That's an upset win for sure. Board 4 from Warsaw with a nice comeback victory. Yeah. Let's see. This is the top board from Harvard up against a Grandmaster. Board 3 from Warsaw. Arcadius. So this will be interesting. Aaron is down time. They're both under a minute, but only 20 seconds for Aaron. 46 for Arcadius, and looks like White is still thinking. I mean, White's got a good position. They're up a pawn. These pawns are really nice, but they're just not moving. So the queen finally finds a home on h5. But now rook e5. Ooh, and ooh. Queen f... Wait. Well, I mean, either way, this is such a bad play. I mean, that's mate. There's this pawn. Wow. And just like that, now Arcadius is up 2 pawns. Yeah, I have no idea what just happened. This also loses the f pawn, right? Rook takes, rook takes. Okay, rook e3 instead. Rook takes, pawn takes. King up to defend this now. Okay, so now we go after the e3 pawn. Pressure here. This is gonna hit. Why not this? Because we lose that. Okay, check, king back. I'm pretty sure that's your only move there. Okay. G4. Defending this. You could probably trade everything down, right? Let's say pawn takes, bishop takes. Bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, king takes. E2, E2 first. Now bishop takes, or rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes. Okay, so yeah, maybe bishop takes is better. No, this is just GG. So, yeah, Aaron's down to their last hope, I guess. Okay, attacking the bishop. Keep the pressure on the bishop. Go back, exactly. Okay, and now you take here, okay. Giving this up. Defending this, so defending this. I mean, black should just... Oh, that's annoying. That's so annoying. They want to play rook here. There's check. King back. Rook back up, yeah. Back down, yep. Oh, that's a good move. Go here. Uh-huh. Check. Don't go here. Allowing the trade. So going back, there's this. Oh, that's not a mate threat. But it does threaten to win the rook, actually. Wow. Check, rook takes, and then rook check. GG. GG. Yeah, very nicely found. Very nicely found. Nice tactic. So, yeah, Chocolate Gummy, when we tuned in, they were in distress finding a move here. So queen takes queen here, and now probably just queen f5. What's wrong with queen f5? Queen f... Oh, they're worried about the h4 pawn. They're worried about the h... Well, queen f5 threatens mate, no? They missed queen f5. I'm pretty sure. Queen f5, and they would have been fine. Because now rook e5, and life is difficult, to say the least. You have to play g3, but takes. Like, this is so bad. So yeah, queen f5 is probably the critical move here. All right, let's check out Bartek versus Jimmy. Let's give a point to Arcadius. Played a nice game there. As well as a point to Bartek for a win over Rockdoll fan. So I believe that was a sweep in round 2. All right, so what is going on here? We want to go here and here and here. Jimmy looks busted. Jimmy, look at this move, dude. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight develop, and just bishop h6. Oh, bishop h6. Oh, the rook is open on the h file too. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, just rook takes. Just rook takes, yeah. Nah, Jimmy, where are your pawns? Where are those pawns? Let's start from the beginning. Let's see how this happened. Okay, so we have f5, pawn takes, g takes, knight in, knight f6, g4, pawn takes, h takes. So that might be the first sign of a problem. Computer likes queen e7. But you trade this, so Jimmy's up a pawn. But now he loses the pawn, and his king is just completely exposed. Probably a lot of moves that win. Probably. So that's threatening a fork if queen takes. It's threatening the knight. This is just looking busted for Jimmy. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, queen check is mate. So the queen has a very important duty. I was thinking queen h7, but the knight covers that. So, I mean, yeah, if queen takes, you could probably even take here. Rook takes, queen check, king here. Queen here. King to one of these two. I don't know. It's all bad. It's all bad. Jimmy's lost. Jimmy's lost. Let's check out Jason and Arcadius. Okay, so white has just castled. Black is a couple moves from castling. But white still needs to develop one of these pawns to get the bishop out, as well as the knight. Yeah, Jimmy resigned. All right, so Bartek with a very swift win over the leader of Harvard's team. And with that, Warsaw is a half point away from winning the match. So this was kind of a blowout, unfortunately, for Harvard. Although they are missing a player, which is double unfortunate. So probably should have watched the other match in this group that was scheduled for today. But hindsight is 2020, as they say. But it is fun to watch the Warsaw players, because this is a very strong team. You got 2 grandmasters, and one of them on board 3. So, and Joanna's also pretty strong, a WGM. She had that nice upset win over Jimmy, so can never count her out. She's the lowest rated player on the team, but I think she's probably a little underrated, actually. When I get to 2100, I can play for the Harvard main team. Exactly. Even less than that, because they're missing a player this week. Wait, so do you go to school at Harvard, actually? Or are you just joking? Okay, so yep, just both players focusing on development. Get those dark square bishops out, get castled. Maybe knight c3 now. Maybe take on b5. I'm in the UK, Lancaster. Okay. Well, if you go to grad school at Harvard, yeah, you could join the Collegiate Chess League. If you're a student in the UK, you could join even. Our next season will start next semester. Towards the end of February, probably mid-February. So if the Collegiate Chess League seems interesting to you and you have a team or a club that would like to participate, let me know. Reach out to me. Let your teammates know. Your club members. Tell them. Okay, so yeah, black's looking at knight b4 with tempo, it seems. So the queen sidesteps. Black's going for this bishop trade. So if we take probably knight from d7, takes back. The reason why you take with this knight as opposed to this knight is that this knight is nicely placed in the center and this knight is farther placed back. So it's better to improve this piece than to bring this piece backwards. Unless you wanted to open up the diagonal for a particular reason, but there's really no concrete reason to that. We have the knight coming into b4 now. Maybe d4 at this point. Maybe d4, trying to undermine this guy. So no, trying to trade here. And honestly, that's fine too. This knight comes in. Maybe now e4. Is e4 good for us? Probably then knight takes? Knight takes, pawn takes? Huh. Yeah. Found watching chess easy, but when I play, I see very little. Yeah. It's tough. So, no, e4 was not played. I'm sure Jason thought about it and deemed it unworthy. But I did like e4, because if knight takes c2, which I think is their best move, like if they move the d5 knight, then just knight takes wins material for white. So knight takes c2, but then I think what they forgot was like, I don't know if forgot is the right word, but you take and take. So you would be left with the weak d pawn, but all right, so now f6 has been played, a potential weakness in Arcadius's kingside pawn structure, but taking the space in the center, getting a pawn chain going. Okay, now h4. So yeah, the position's been fairly even for both sides. Nothing crazy. Maybe queen e3 is good for white at some point. But yeah, black has a little bit more space. White's a little more cramped. But also noticeably, the clock is a big concern for Jason. 30 seconds to 240. So queen pinning the knight to the king. Probably get the king out of the way or something. Or again, just queen e3. So a5 is played. Just threatening h6. Maybe rook h1 at some point. So rook lift. Interestingly. 15 seconds for Jason. Only 13 seconds now to 2.5 minutes for Horizon. Okay, queen up. Pinning the knight to the queen. So if the knight moves, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, then rook takes c5 is the thing. b4. Not sure if I'm a fan of this, but the knight looks like it's trying to come here with the fork, but we can trade queens first. So rook here. Again, just lining this up. So yeah, forcing queens off. This knight is attacking the e2 pawn, so the rook is going to have to move. 6 seconds. 5 seconds now. Babysitting a pawn. Rook here, maybe looking at this move. Knight back, helping support this. Knight in here now. Not sure what for, but I guess the threat was to attack the pawn because it was pinned. So now rook takes. King f3. Bold king. Ooh, exchange sacrifice. 1 second. So, okay, is Horizon Event playing their best chess? Or are they just trying to flag Jason in the time scramble? So they get a pawn for the exchange. Now this pawn's hit. The pawn can be defended by the knight. Rook here. Yeah, maybe a rook here, but these pawns are pretty bad. Okay. Wait, this gives up the pawn. Oh, rook takes, but pawn takes with check. Oh, no. Yeah, knight c3. Is there a defense to this? I think you go back. But then, yeah, they take, we take. They take, we take. And that's probably better. I mean, it is better. But man, what a good game from Arcadius. So yeah, let's give them their point. They improved now to 3 out of 3. Same with Bartek. So now we're watching Rizard against Aaron. So Aaron's notoriously fast. I mean, look at this time. They have the same amount of time that they started with. They're just playing instantly, so they've gained time now. Rizard is up a pawn, but they have doubled pawns and an isolated pawn, which is currently being unattacked. It is defended twice by both rooks, but these rooks are tied down to the defense of a pawn. So yeah, I mean, the time alone makes me think that black is favored. 1 minute to 5 minutes. Okay, so offering some rook trades. Desperately trying to reunite the pawns, but you lose this pawn. Probably you take on b5. If you take here, bishop takes with the fork. Or actually takes here. Maybe rook takes with check. Maybe you go here then though. Yeah, I think taking b5 is best because you're going to double isolate these pawns. At least, so this evens out. So the position's essentially completely even. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would recommend this to play here, but like, this just makes that pawn weak. So yeah, like black has the better isolated pawns because they're both on light squares. So yeah, Rizard is just trying to play fast now. Like I think they just assume it's an even position. I guess maybe it is. So they're starting to gain time back. Huh. This is such a confusing position. I really don't know like how to make progress. So, ooh. Uh-oh. Rizard's internet died for a second. That could spell for disaster. But yeah, just a couple checks, couple position repeats, trying to trade bishops. Bishop e4. Oh, back to a3. King trying to look at f4 now, perhaps. King e2. Huh. Okay, what's the king doing on g2? That's my question. And at some point, Aaron's gonna have to push a pawn to make progress or make some sort of trade. They're pretty far from 50 move rule though. But yeah, with that last win, Arcadius clinches the win for Warsaw. So the games at this point don't really matter that much. But yeah, this is looking like a draw. This is like a dead draw. So king over, king in the center. I think if Aaron's not careful, maybe white could push for the win. I don't know. They're gonna threefold very soon. Why not just play f5? f5 now. Or bishop check first. So that you don't get hit with f... Well, no, f4 you take on g4. Alright. The draw has been offered. But, I mean, Aaron is up a pawn and up 4 minutes. 3.5 minutes. Let's check in on Jason versus Joanna. Wow, I just realized we got a lot of J names. It's 3 J names. Okay. Maybe that's not that many. I don't know. Is Aaron gonna push it? Okay, so we do have f5. Okay. So there has been some progress made, but not really. Let's go back to Jason and Joanna's game. These are the board 4s here. Both are at 2100. Joanna's up 3 minutes on Jason. Jason's been having time issues. Some time struggles. So black's turn. Gotta move, Jason. Gotta move. Don't have all day. Alright, knight g6. Not a lot of forward movement for this knight on g6. Okay, so pawn here. Maybe worried about knight here or bishop here. So h3 to and 15 seconds. Jason is just struggling. 10 seconds. Bishop moves. Perhaps looking for some trades. Knight takes e6. Looks pretty good. Knight takes e6 is awkward because it hits the rook and it also opens up the bishop. So 10 seconds, Jason has to decide which piece you want to take. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take the knight. Yeah, so they're going to be left with this really weak double pawn in the back here. So these are 3 pawns being held back by 2. Also, this pawn is hanging. Perhaps. Perhaps not. So now the pawn's defended. Now this pawn is hanging. Okay, queen develops, defending. Rook to the c file. Maybe another rook to the c file. Maybe pawn put. Oh, knight block. Rook lift, trying to double on the c file. This game is still going on, by the way. But yeah, it should be dead drawn. Oh, the c pawn's been grabbed. Oh, for the b pawn. Well, that's a trade that's favorable for Jason because the c pawn was more valuable than this b6 pawn because this pawn was doubled. So now the queen is hit. Knight controls the square, so the rooks can't just double. Oh, but there goes the g6 pawn, which couldn't have been defended. So Jason's down to less than 5 seconds. They're getting forked, which is unfortunate. Oh, 2.5 seconds. Oh my god. Okay, so now they're down in exchange for a pawn, but this is somewhat annoying, actually. So the king attacks the rook. Rook might be short on squares. Here, there's here. Rook here, allowing for this kind of stuff. Okay, so the rook is in, hitting the pawn. Oh my god, 2.4 seconds. Okay, hitting the bishop. Okay, bishop saves. Oh, 0 seconds. Oh. Yeah, you just can't play like that. You can't play that slow. But good point from Joanna. That was a tricky position. All right, so now I believe this is the last game. I should give Rizard a point for round 3. So these are the 2 board 2s. Jimmy's final game. Okay, so final board, final game. Did I give Joanna her point? I don't think I did. I think she ends at 3 out of 4. Her only loss to Harvard's top board. Oh, we have the board 1s playing. This should be an exciting one. So we'll stick to this one actually. Yeah, Chocolate Gummy and Scissor actually drew. So $1.5 to $3.5 or 2.5? I don't know. Probably 3.5. So now we're left with Jimmy and Aaron from Harvard against Bartek and Rizard. The boards 1 and 2. So 2 games left. Let's see if Chocolate Gummy can take down the Grandmaster Bartek. Technically, Aaron's higher rated, but Bartek is really strong, obviously. Bartek looking to go 4 out of 4. Okay, so we have opposite side castles. I mean, this king is far from castling, actually, but yeah, Aaron just goes into the storm opposite the battery, the open C file for black, and these pawns are already extended. So knight develops, looking to get the bishop out without blundering the G pawn. So this knight is pinned to C2. I like queen B6 for white. Just try to get the queens off. Okay, king over. I don't know what Bartek does. But they're up on the clock against Aaron, who, as we've seen before, Aaron's been way up on the clock. Oh, Jimmy just lost their game. I didn't even see this. What happened, Jimmy? Okay, we have a Sicilian. Castle's long. Bishop here. What happens if e5? Probably, is it knight takes? Oh, there's knight d5. I don't know, is this theory? Castle, and now e5. Push, queen here, bishop. Oh, Jimmy. That's so sad. Botez Gambit. Alright, well. I already gave Rizard 3.5, so maybe I gave the wrong. Oh, I probably gave them a point prematurely. Huh. So are we missing a point? I'm missing a point somewhere. Did Arcadius go 4 out of 4? Probably. That's probably it. Okay. So yeah, final game here. Bishop takes a3. Dude. That's... Oh yeah, because queen takes c3. That's pretty straightforward. Grandmaster's not going to miss that. Yeah. Ouch. Actually, I wonder if you could have done it here. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't played. Huh. So king b1 first, and now bishop takes. So, yeah. Not taking back, but this is looking good for black. I'm thinking about like this, even. There's also bishop c5. You could also just move your knight, maybe. Move the knight. Maybe you lose g7. So I don't know. There's bishop e7. Like honestly, bishop e7 is pretty solid. Okay, bishop c5. Also pretty good. Just hitting the queen. Queen d3. So now, again, there's bishop e7. You can move the knights. You can play b4. b4, I would take on f6, I think. And then you ruin black's kingside pawn structure. So is queen e5 a move? Probably not, because bishop takes f6, and then there's queen d7. So the bishop goes to f4. So yeah, I would take on f6. G takes. But I don't know. The king doesn't have to castle. The king can fianchetto itself on e7 if need be. So yeah, what does Aaron do? Probably you want to move your knight. You don't want to allow black to take on c3. And with the queen on d3, you're defending c2. So knight e2 is played. Very logical. But now what is the question? Both sides at a minute 20. White still needs to develop their bishop somehow. The knight's kind of awkwardly placed. Okay, bishop back. Probably looking at e5. Just box out the knight. Centrally placed, pointing at the heart of white's safety on b2. A minute now for Aaron to try to salvage this. Seems pretty tough to do. I wonder if rook g1's an idea. Probably not. Maybe you just move the g-pawn to fianchetto. I was kind of worried about this. Yeah, okay, so king does go to e7. And Bartek's playing fast now. Aaron is down on time. Rook h to d8. It's a solid move. Put the rook opposite the queen. Now rook f1. Getting off the long diagonal. Trying to attack the f-file. We could see the queen swing over. And then take here. Try to open up this. But probably bishop here is devastating. Like the queen and knight are both defending c2 from this. So if the queen leaves, then the knight has to be the defender. Okay, so queen in. I don't know what this is doing. Less than 20 seconds for Aaron, though. Both players under a minute. So queen swings over, looking at the h7 pawn maybe, but I don't know if that's any good. We've dropped the e pawn, though. And now c2 is hit a million times. And if you go bishop d3, there's queen takes knight, which defends this. Now this is hit twice. This should be game over. Queen here. Can we take this? Ouch. Well, there's knight takes with check. Okay. Can we take this? 3, 2, 1, move. 3 seconds. Okay, the rook was hit. Okay, takes here, threatens mate though. Oh, rook takes. Oh, bishop takes. King in discovery. You could take with check. Bishop here hits the queen though. Wait, but the queen's hanging. but there's no time. Wait, you had the block. Bishop c4, bishop takes. That's disgusting. If rook block, you still take. Yeah, what a shot. Bishop takes. That's gross. But yeah. This is really well played from Bartek. So nicely done. Nice finish. Nice tactic. Bartek improves to 4 out of 4. So yeah, Aaron, the only player from Harvard to get any points, 1.5, beating the bottom board and drawing the second board, but losing to the 2 grandmasters. So yeah, Warsaw perhaps a little underrated. This is a really strong team, and it was unfortunate for Harvard. They were missing their board 3 today. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.